Hey guys, it's Danae
and Nadia,
and we are back with another video. Today's video topic is
Gluttony for what?
2, 3.
So basically our topic of our video is about gluttony, what that means for American citizens, obesity in America, mukbangs.
With like overeating and all that stuff, encouraging people to do it more, which they shouldn't, obviously.
Yeah, also there are a lot of like other things to do with mukbangs that can be quite damaging. Like she said, like giving people the idea that it's okay to overeat or just to eat so unhealthily. But also, there are some things like feeder content, which are really important things to think about moving forward.
Okay, so our like main topic is like the obesity rates, like in correlation of when mukbang became popular in America. So it started to become more popular around like 2010-ish. And well, like obviously like obesity is like based on the BMI, which is not very accurate.
Oh yeah, so basically if you guys don't know what the BMI is, it's basically this scale to figure out if your body weight is healthy. So it's a scale that tells if you're obese or not, which by the way, it was made in the 1800s for European people. Actually, I think it was made before that, but
even still, and it's I think European man too.
Yeah, it was a European man, which is not at all accurate for like today's standards and people, because not everyone is white, for one, not everyone is a man, like everybody's bodies are different. So the BMI is like extremely inaccurate, and a lot of people take that to heart.
Especially like it depends too, like if you're an athletic person, if you're on the taller side, it really depends, especially like muscle weight too, like it's pretty inaccurate. But okay, so the obesity rate in 1999 to 2000 was 30%, and in 2017 to 2020, it like right around when it started to get a little more popular. So obviously like I said before, like 2010, but like right when people started to watch it, like and like were binge watching that type of stuff, was more like in that time, and it went up to pretty much 42%-ish, which like it doesn't seem like that much of a jump, but like those rates are like large even by themselves. And the severe obesity rate went from 5% to almost 10%.
Which, okay, I'm not even gonna lie, guys, I don't think you understand, that's a crazy jump in such a short time span. And that's just America alone, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Just crazy. In America, and mainly in adults, but like the rates in kids is probably pretty bad too.
Mm-hmm.
So then there's also some graphs about people who are obese are like having way higher blood pressure, which is causing a lot more heart diseases. So 58% of people who are obese have a heart disease, which that's horrible. And then
here, insert picture.
Yeah, right here. This one is a smaller portion. 23% of obese people have diabetes, but like that's still bad. Diabetes isn't a good thing to have. Like obviously it's different, like type 1 and type 2, like being born with it and not being born with it, but it's still like a bad health problem. But mainly the heart diseases is a big portion.
Basically, I'm going to talk about the age groups and the genders of people that watch mukbangs. So after researching, I found that mukbang viewers come from mainly young adults. And from these young adults, they're mainly people that like live by themselves. The reason why they watch so many mukbang videos is because they said that it feels like they're like sitting and like eating with somebody, or like just having the company of somebody eating with them, basically. So they will watch these mukbang videos to just, I guess, make them feel less lonely. In my opinion, I thought that it would have made the person like feel more introverted when they talk to other people. But in the research, it said that it made the people feel a little bit better because they would use the comments and like just interact with other people who would watch the videos as well. And then they'd also like just basically have like this whole little community, I guess, of people that watch the videos together. So we know that the viewers are mainly young adults, but when it comes to like genders of people, it kind of varies between teens and young adults. So in the category of people that would never watch mukbangs, the males were higher than the females. But in the category of watchers that would watch daily, the females were the highest. To be more specific, in the percentages of people that would watch mukbangs, it was 79.3% of females that watched mukbangs and 64% of males that watch mukbangs. For the people that didn't watch mukbangs, the percentages were 37% of males that have never watched them and 21.5% of females that have never watched them. And personally, I find the results not surprising because I feel like being a female, we watch a lot of like random things and videos and stuff. Right here, I have like a graph that I made, basically going from greatest to least of who would watch like the videos. So I know my explanation was very fast, but basically to take from it is that young adults are the main ones that watch mukbangs and females are the main gender that watch mukbangs. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Okay, so basically, if you guys didn't already know, mukbanging is it originated in Korea in the late 2000s and probably earlier than that. So basically the word means eating broadcast, and so in Korean it's each word is moknan bang sung. Okay, but basically, yeah. So it's eating broadcasted, and it was originally started as like just a form of entertainment. People would be eating like noodles and like regular food, but then as it got popular, the portions of like the food that people were intaking was like honestly insane.
A lot of people like didn't realize, like, you always see like these Asian creators like who are doing it and they look like they're super skinny, but like their little secret behind it is like after they eat it they spit it out right away. Like that's why there's cuts and stuff like that. And I feel like some people didn't realize that, and like a lot of like American creators, like when they started doing it, like you can see it's like gross in a way. I feel like when I watch like the Asian like mukbangs, like they're not like, they don't look as like gross to me, but like the American one, like they look gross, like they be eating the Taco Bell or the Chipotle, like,
you know the one I'm thinking of,
pouring a bunch of stuff on it and like they don't spit it out. And like even like, you know, Jelly Bean Sweets, like she was skinny and she would share like her stuff with her dad, like she wasn't even the full portion, and then like as it goes on she's eating the whole thing by herself, chugging her drink, and you can see she's gotten way bigger.
Oh yeah, honestly the before and after not editing that. On a serious note, it's crazy. I remember like being young and seeing those Asian people with like the chia water, and like they'd chew it, and then they'd have like enoki mushrooms, strawberries, like tomatoes, cucumbers. That type of mukbanging was like really satisfying, but it wasn't like a gigantic disgusting amount of food.
Or like
because
the popular like seafood boil stuff that's been lately.
Because I was gonna say there's a difference between eating like, I don't even know, like going to a restaurant and you like order different things, but you're not finishing it all in one sitting. But for people who do like the extra queso and cheese and extra double everything in their
by the way, the people were hating on me for my dry Qdoba bowl. Your Qdoba bowl is unhealthy as heck because you pour so much queso in it.
Yeah. So, when it comes to like mukbangs, there's also like other levels to it that are crazy, like feeder content.
Yeah.
So, this is speculation. I don't know if it's true or not, but a lot of people were thinking that, if you guys don't know who Jelly Bean Sweets is, she talked about her earlier, but she was this content creator who used to like dance, and she would do like fitness things, and then she would like show her meals, and then she turned into a mukbanging channel, and she would eat it was fine at first, and then she started eating large amounts of food and chugging soda, and just it was gross. And then she gained a lot of weight in a really short amount of time, and people were speculating that it was feeder content, which is basically when somebody is getting either paid to eat a lot of food and fatten up, because that's a kink, guys. I'll say it again.
A gross one, but
let's say it together.
That's a kink.
People will pay. People will watch and watch and watch mukbangers and like food content people fatten up because they like that.
There's also been like cases of people like where like say like it's like a girl and a guy's gotten with them, and like like they like feel like super like oh, like I'm a bigger person, like blah, blah, blah. Like I feel like loved because they were ever, and they'll like keep feeding them like oh,
and making them bigger and bigger.
Making them bigger, and like they don't realize that it's cause like it's feeder content, and they love like to watch
Hansel
them
and
eat.
Gretel.
Yeah.
And the witch who fattened them up.
Yeah, so like it's like that stuff, and then it's like there was one lady I remember is like he was fattening her up so much where like she literally almost died. Like
it's like you don't realize because over time,
like you think that you're being loved, like because like oh, they're just like they're treating me, like, but no, like you're actually getting real unhealthy, and like they like think it's okay because they like how that looks.
And it's not even like the fact that liking how it looks, but watching somebody like get bigger, like that's so odd. Okay, there's also like this has to do with like race as well, which it always does. Like you guys know, because one of the graphs that we collected had to do with like severe obesity among U.S. adults aged 20 and older by sex, age, race, and Hispanic origin from 2017 to 2018. Which, try to guess which one has the most obesity rates? Black people, unfortunately. So it goes in total. The rates are like odd because I'll show the graph. So there's the total, which is the 9.2. Men 6.6, women 11.7. Then 20-year-olds to 39-year-olds were 9.7. 40-year-olds to 59-year-olds were 10.7. 60 and older was 6.1. Non-Hispanic white people 9.5. Non-Hispanic black people 4.0. 14%.
4.0.
And then Asian people 1.8. I'm not gonna lie, that makes a lot of sense. And then Hispanic people 7.4. Now when you look at those different graphics, you realize like it's only 1 year, but let's say for example like most Asian food that I can think of is like vegetable heavy.
Yeah, a lot of Asian food is like vegetable heavy, and even like their stuff just doesn't have as much like the stuff that like you shouldn't be eating. Like I know like in meats, like we eat a lot of fats in our meats, but like it's like a proportion. Like if you have a meat, it's always gonna have some type of like noodle or vegetable to balance it off. Like there's always some type of thing that balances it, and there's like you rarely find something that doesn't have a vegetable or something in it.
Yeah, and so obviously like for the black people, that has a lot to do with being in poverty. We're talking about America, by the way. This is specific to America.
Yeah.
So this is everyone, at least, who could be like in this type of survey. So that has to do with people who are in poverty, which 9 times, well, I won't say 9 times out of 10, but we all know like majority of the people who are in poverty in America, it's black people. And so what type of food are you eating? You know, like what type of unhealthy foods are you consuming because it's like what's cheapest?
But I think like also something I do know is that a lot of unhealthier foods are cheaper options.
Yeah.
Like when you want to go get a vegetable and stuff like that, or like all like types of vegetables or fruits, like, and you look over there, like that stuff is gonna be more like expensive to like if I want to go get a bag of hot Cheetos, like even just a small bag, it's 2 for $1. Like, or if I want a free Salisbury steak frozen meal, I don't know, like that's just the first thing I think. Just like frozen meals, those are like like some of those are like $1. Like, so if you don't have a lot of money, like it's easy to get those type of things, and it's hard to think about like, oh, how will I make my meal like better? more healthy.
All this to say, mukbanging is dangerous.
We kind of went off topic. But, I also have some more on mukbang. So, like, a bit... mukbanging. Sorry. I actually have some more on it, like, it being on stuff like TikTok and things. Like, I know, for me, like, I started seeing it on YouTube, but because, like, TikTok started to be really popular and to get more creators and stuff like that, when you see, like, something on any social media platform, like, it's easy to see and be like, oh, I want to try that, or I want to do that, because it's like you see other people doing it and they get popular from it. You're gonna want to do it. Like, and it's the same, like, especially when you see what they're eating, you're like, oh, I want that now. It's the same thing of like what commercials and stuff like that try to do to you. Like, if you're watching TV, and there's studies on this, if you don't have commercials of food on there, you won't snack as much. If you do, you like snack more. So like, if I'm seeing something about like goldfish, I'm gonna want goldfish more. Or I just saw something on seafood boils, and me and my sister were talking about, like, we want a seafood boil really bad now. Like, so like, you see it, you know it's popular, it just makes you want to eat it. Or even like, you see them eating a lot, like, it normalizes overeating and eating more than you want to, just because like you see it and you're like, okay, well, they ate the whole thing, like, I can eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
Or challenges too.
7 bites, though. Can I do it in over or under 3 bites? I've seen people try to, oh my god, that one guy who tries to fit things in 1 bite.
Yeah, he's just like,
and then there are people who chug, like, trying to like gulp down something in like one sit, like,
or even like
one gulp.
Soda isn't the best for you, and like that whole like chugging Sprite thing, and they sounded like a demon was coming out of them. Like,
oh yeah, okay,
that.
I thought we were gonna do that.
Okay, but like, we're victims to it too.
Yeah, which all this to say, social media has a really big impact on the things that are happening today. Like, mukbanging would not be a thing if people weren't broadcasting it, if it wasn't uploaded online, if it wasn't popular on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and all these things. So, and that has to do, like, I don't want to, like, not to go off track, but that has to do with a lot of things in our society today that are normalized when they shouldn't be, because it got popular.
Brain rot.
Yeah. There's like,
we could totally do that.
There's a difference between, oh, you're scrolling on TikTok for like an hour every day, like whatever, but when you are so consumed, which guilty, when you are so consumed by your social life and your social media and the apps that you have, it takes a big toll on your personality and your attention span and everything about yourself, the way you present yourself, without you even realizing it. And we were talking about this in AP Lit today, because Mr. Timmons was talking about how he can't wait for TikTok to get taken away because it is damaging to young minds.
Yeah. So I was actually talking about this in 7th hour today, how like our attention span is horrible because having TikTok. And we were like talking about how
15 seconds.
Yeah, like how we like used to be on YouTube and watch like full YouTube videos, whatever, without fast forwarding, which I've always been one to fast forward, but we're talking about everybody, I guess.
She's always had a short attention span.
But we were talking about like, because of TikTok, the videos are about like 60 seconds or like the 15 seconds, and like you just scroll, like, and it's like, also don't like it, just scroll. Like, our attention span is so short that like people like can't even pay attention to stuff anymore. It's like just bad for you. Like, when that lady comes on your screen saying, oh, I see you've been scrolling for a while, listen to her.
Oh my god, or the purple man.
Yes, listen to them, because I know I scroll right past them. Don't stop and listen, because you're gonna get caught up in that mukbanging and you're gonna be eating.
So one of our other graphs that we have is obesity rates in 2024, by the way, most recently, women versus men in America. So for men, it was 48.7%, and for women, it was 51.3%. Which this kind of leads me into another topic of like the difference between women and men when it comes to like health and weight gain and weight loss and all that stuff.
Yeah, like
because
pregnancy and hormones and all that.
First off, your period, your menstrual cycle has a lot to do with like your weight fluctuating, which I always thought that this was normal, and I don't know if it's like 100% normal, but like women's weight fluctuates all the time. Like, one day I will literally like hop on the scale and be a certain weight, and then the next day I'll see I'm like 5 more pounds to that, or 5 more pounds, or 5 less pounds than that, which I don't know if that's like for men as well, but I know it's a lot for women. And then also like thyroid disease. I was researching thyroid disease, which is a lot more common in women than it is men. Now, it's not impossible for men to get thyroid disease, but it is way more common for women to get it, and it really takes a toll on their weight gain. And like that's a major thing that I see in a lot of women. PCOS, that's something else that has to do with the weight gain and weight loss of women. Pregnancy, like she said, birth control. There are so many things that,
and there's
like,
so many reasons to take birth control that isn't even just for like
preventing pregnancy.
Yeah, like if you have bad like cramps and stuff like that, they'll recommend it so quickly, and like
without even telling you the side effects.
Yeah, and like it's really like bad for like younger girls to like start it early because like it makes their hormones go crazy.
Yeah, and I also saw this girl talking about it was this couple on TikTok, of course, but I was watching like one of their podcasts, and they were having a really hard time getting pregnant because she had taken birth control her like pretty much her entire life, and she stopped having a period altogether when she was off of birth control, and she had her first period in like the last 7 years, and finally she was like able to get pregnant or whatever, I think. But the fact that like it can have that much of an impact on somebody's body is crazy, and it's supposed to help you. Like,
yeah. And there's also like, this is a big thing too, like people who have like bad like hormone imbalance stuff too, it also has something to do with what you're eating and what you're putting in your body. And like back to our like bigger topic of like paying attention to what you're eating, how much of it you are eating, because that stuff really affects like how much like you're gaining weight, or even like with the hormone stuff, like you can gain way more weight even though you might not be eating like as much as you think you are. Like it will like mess with stuff, you know, like when you're in America, like there's a lot of different bad ingredients that they have. You'll go to another country and it's not the same. You see the people might eat the same amount, and like that's the same thing, like in the other place, like they might eat the same amount but they're way skinnier because they don't have all these like chemicals and stuff that makes it so much worse for us. Like that's why a lot of times like you have McDonald's here, yeah, you might think that stuff is delicious, but like you go in another country and it'll taste so much better and you won't feel crappy after you eat it.
Yeah. Like an example of that, I remember my mom is vegan, by the way. In the early years of her veganism, she traveled a lot, and so whenever she went out of the country, she'd gone to like just a whole bunch of other places, like Europe, countries in Europe and stuff like that, and countries in Asia, and she'd come back and told us that like she ate meat there and it did not have like a horrible effect on her body, which is like the seafood over there was just so much fresher and cleaner, and it didn't like make her sick.
They feed the animals like weird stuff, or even like, you know how cows, like they're not supposed to eat corn, but they'll give them corn to like beef them up. Get it? Sorry. And like even corn, like for us, like it's not good for us to digest either.
True.
But in like Asia and stuff like that, they like this stuff is way fresher. Like even like I know like my family, we kill our own chickens. Like not always, but like we like there's sometimes where like they'll get chickens and they kill them themselves, and it tastes so much better because it's so much fresher, and it's not like it's been sitting at the grocery store for like a week.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that's every other country in the world besides America. Like I'm sure there are a lot of places that have the same practices that American farms and cattles do for their meat. And do you see that? But then again, we know we live in America where our burgers are like this big. So
or people who get this big one.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't want to say that that's those people's choice, but it is. Like think about Nikocado Avocado. He was a vegan. He was this skinny, fitness, healthy vegan who made essentially like healthy mukbangs, and he would show what it means to like eat vegan, how you can get as much nutrients and protein as anybody who eats. It wasn't long before.
It was.
Anyway, that you can get as much like nutrients and protein as somebody who does eat meat, and then he got really
fat.
He was like his own chair, like, and like that's like so bad. And then he got skinny, which great that he got skinny again, but that is so bad for your body to go from being really skinny to ginormous. Like 3 people.
But not even just
and then
that.
getting smaller.
The idea that this man was hosting mukbangs, mind you, sitting on the floor with his tummy out, food all over the floor, food all over his face, disgusting. It was so gross and foul, and it's just like, where is your decorum? But you're showing these millions of followers that you have, making them think that, one, you're crazy, that this is okay to act like this, and it's okay to post things like this, and it's okay to eat this way. He snapped back and was healthy again and was 2 steps ahead, and
which like is really weird too, because there's no way that he lost that much weight
Ozempic.
Exactly, he was stabbing himself because in that short period of time.
Videos were real. I don't even think those videos were like, I think they were timed.
Yeah, they must have been, because the 2 steps were too far
Because
ahead.
I'm telling you guys, he was so big, but he was just so big that it's like, you did not get back skinny that fast.
You know what your mama's so big.
Your mama's so big.
Avocado is just crazy. And I think it was just so damaging that, like, he knew he had a young audience. Because you can see those demographics in your YouTube. You can see all that stuff. You can see the amount of people who watch your videos. You can see the type of people who watch your videos. White, black, what country, woman, male. Wait, female, male. And age as well. And he was posting disgusting videos normalizing his obesity. Yeah, and you're showing, not saying that, like, okay, this is just a tribute to, like, oh, young kids shouldn't be on social media anyway, but for those who are seeing something like that, knowing that there could be kids on this platform, and you're posting things like that, it's just so damaging. Because what if that little 8-year-old is thinking, oh my god, I'm gonna eat that much too, that seems funny, that's funny.
Yeah,
like, that's weird.
And even like it also can cause like people to like have other types of unhealthy eating habits. Like, one, like overeating, yes, but then like if you're someone who like you think that you're bigger and you're watching someone big eat and look disgusting and eat disgusting, you're gonna feel horrible about yourself. And then you're not, like, even if you're not even that big, you're not gonna want to eat, because you're gonna think, oh, I look like that when I eat, oh, I'm eating that much. And like, I know there are people who won't eat as much because they see stuff like that, like,
yeah, it just causes
they think
so
it's
many
gross.
Eating disorders,
yes,
whether that be under eating or overeating. Something that reminded me of like the eating disorders is that not only are people overeating, but they're under eating and watching mukbangs to fill themselves so that they don't have to eat. Like, yeah. I've literally scrolled on TikTok and seen like somebody like eat some weird food and a lot of it, and I've seen like people's, like, I'll check the comments and people are like, oh, like, I'm full now thanks to this video, like, I'm not gonna go eat, like, this video was my meal. What?
Another thing with like going into like bad like eating habits is binge eating, which is like you literally like pretty much starve yourself. And I know a lot of, like, at least I know like a lot of kids, like, especially going to school, like, you don't like the school lunch and stuff like that, like, it's like you pretty much like don't eat for a long time and then you eat a whole bunch in one sitting. Like, whether that's when you go to school, you don't eat at all, you get home later and you like eat a bunch in one sitting, or like people do this like when it comes towards like Thanksgiving and stuff like that, where they don't eat before so they can eat a lot like during that time, like, and like that's a big thing like with mukbanging. Like people do that, like, before they record their videos and stuff like that, they won't eat, so then when they do eat, like, they're eating a bunch of it, and that's very bad for your body because your body can't digest it right. There was a mukbanger who, like, on stream, like, their like stomach or something like that burst, or like intestines or something like came out because they were eating so much. Yeah, but there's like a lot of like sketchy stuff.
Does that count?
Spicy chicken biscuit. Regular chicken biscuit. Already in a half ounce. I'll put in how big. Have some. That is good. I just put holy grail. Ooh, this is good. Too much soy sauce. I can't even do that actually. I don't have nails. But I first had this, So what are you replacing that? Florals? I don't know how they do it. I'm getting tired.
Don't do this. This is exactly what we're trying to get y'all to do.
Once you start to feel full and your stomach starts to hurt or you start to get tired, that is a sign to stop eating.
But for the video, we're gonna continue.
Oh, it's not even the biscuit that's like the problem because we already had fries
And hash browns.
and the frosted lemonade.
Ooh.
Don't fall in the toilet. Over under 3 bites.
I didn't do that one.
Are you okay? Here, I'm just one.
I can do that one.
Just for big decorum? How long? About a good.
I said that. That was all the way they gave you. It was like, no, like, sometimes they fill it, sometimes it was like,
I'm offering that.
So you're gonna your name out if the 40 beat shit.
Would you guys ever record a mukbang and like actually post it? If you would record a mukbang, ask yourself, as I'm asking you, what type of food would you want to like mukbang to? Would you want a mukbang to like candied sausage or a little mini protein bowl from Qdoba? Ask yourself, am I overeating? Ask yourself, am I eating out too much? Am I wasting my food? Am I satisfied with the amount of food that I eat every day? Am I eating all 3 meals a day? Goodbye! Bye! So, thanks for watching our video, guys. We really hope you learned a lot from our video. So, stay tuned for the next video.
1, 2,